we are recording, and I'm going to ask you a series of questions that will get sort of bounce back and forth from really specific to pretty open-ended. And what, for context, is happening here is that I'm running a 10-week dating course for men, a course that's about approaching and connecting with and dating women, and not being a creepy douchebag, basically. And it's called Authentic Dating Secrets, and it's really an embracing of, I think this is like dating post Me Too in a big way. This is how to be present, how to stay attuned, how to listen, how to take feedback, and also how to own your fucking desire, and how to like live in your balls and your heart at the same time. So got a lot of sort of men who are super apologetic and fearful of women right now, and telling themselves stories about how women don't want to interact with men, don't want anything to do with men. And it's true for a very small fraction of women, but I don't think it's true for most women. So I'm trying to understand from a woman's perspective, like, how do you like it? How do you like it? How do you want to be approached? What do you like on a date? What's important to you? What do you want men to know about you right now? So my first question is more of a contextual question, which is like, what do you want men to understand about your world as a woman before they ever step up to have a conversation with you? Like, what do you want to be in the back of a man's mind when he approaches you? Like, that's by way of understanding your world.
Respect is a big word. Like, really respecting me as a sovereign being in my own choice and in my own needs and in my own authority.
Yeah.
And surrendering attachment that they're going to get what they want. You know, it's like when that void, like place of from void, and then they go filling the void, that energy of like, I need this in order to be okay or fulfilled, or I need this sex, or I need this attention, or I need this from her to feel good about myself. That energy of void, and then coming toward me to get that, I feel that.
Beautiful.
And then it repels me. It's not safe. I feel like the word is I'm needing to be used to make them whole.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that energy of demand and expectation, that you are here to meet a need for them. It's not connected to your sovereignty and your like wholeness as a human being.
Yeah.
You become a strategy.
In a level of permission of when they approach this place of openness and curiosity to what the yes is, and then fully being in gratitude for the yes, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. So listening for the yes and being able to celebrate whatever the yes is.
Yes. And that still means you can have disappointment. You know, you can have like your hurt, your disappointment, your sadness, your rejection stuff. Like all of that can simultaneously be there.
Yeah.
But it's not now discharging in projection and void filling and expectation and being now butthurt and now making me wrong or doing all the fucking shit that we do when that we don't know how to manage that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. All right, more specifically, and I got a sort of hints of this in your share. Do you generally enjoy being approached by men, and how do you enjoy being approached by men if you do? Like men who don't know you, just who come up and want to start a conversation with you, connect, share a compliment, whatever it is. How do you like to be approached by men, if you like to be?
Well, I love it. I'm a connector. doctor. For me, it's like whoever approaches me, even if it's a 70, 80-year-old, big, whatever, and they're, they come up and they're like, they have the balls to even hit on me or ask me on a date. I'm like, fuck yes. Like, thank you. Like, I love when men do have that authority and that permission in themselves to be willing to come up. And I think the world needs more compliments. I think the world needs more appreciation. The world needs more desire. And it's the nuance of like, okay, what's the context? Like, there's a lot of like, what's the context of approaching this woman? Understanding, like, discernment, but then also the willingness to just like have the permission piece to go up and like open that heart and that desire. I find it incredibly sexy, but it's also because I've worked my own shit. I've worked my own fears. I know how to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Women that do not know how to set boundaries are scared of men coming with that energy because they don't know how to take care of themselves.
Beautifully said. And that's not men's responsibility.
No.
In a sense. That's where our responsibility ends, right?
Yeah.
All we can do is be sensitive to context and lean in vulnerably, courageously.
Exactly. And if the woman starts backing away, if she starts like really having an adverse reaction, that's where the man gets curious and understands, okay, I might need to set a boundary. I might now need to pull my energy in.
Yes. Listen. Don't just listen to her words, listen to her body. Watch what she's doing. If she's moving away from you in any way, then that's okay. Like, this isn't your interaction. Like, everybody wins when you read that, you acknowledge that, and you thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go ahead and step away now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and knowing that's a gift to both parties.
What I like to say is when men can engage women in a way that helps them feel safe, then the legs of the universe open a little wider for all of us.
Oh my God, Yoni's getting wet here.
Right? Like, it's not about you and this person at this time. Like, this is about a whole sort of way of being in the world, and a world that we're creating together where women feel honored and respected and desired, right? Like, we can't have a world where they just feel honored and respected and not desired. That's not a fun world that any of us want to live in. Any of you want to live in, I don't think.
Well, it's interesting because I want to say, because we all have a masculine and feminine, right? My masculine tends to be made wrong, especially by women. Because I am fucking in touch with my desire, and I've been called a predator, I've been called a slut, because I love to open that energy and to engage and to flirt. And yes, I also have to learn discernment, right? And like checking in and being aware and attentive of others and considerate. That's my work. Yeah. But I really don't want to make that part of me wrong. And I have made it wrong. I've taken it on from other people and I have made it wrong.
Absolutely. And so many men have made that part of themselves wrong. And those are the guys who are really reaching out to with this work.
Yes.
Guys who've made themselves wrong for their desire, guys who are afraid to be creepy or in some way to interrupt a woman's day with their energy and attention. Guys who've kind of given up on having the kind of exquisite relationship and partnership that they long for.
Yeah. I mean, I so love it. Like when a man, like especially when there is the consent permission, if he leans in and he's like hitting on me, telling me what he loves, like telling me his turn on, like it's just the juiciest thing ever. And what's amazing is that permission and that energy, when it's fully ignited, leaks out into every part of my life to create abundance.
Mm. Yeah. That turn on and pleasure is so wonderful to traffic in, isn't it?
Yeah. And how our society has also made that wrong. Don't feel too much pleasure. It's not okay to feel this.
Yeah. And there are people who have had traumatic experiences for whom that that turn on in pleasure doesn't feel safe at all. It's actually quite terrifying, and they aren't able to sort of stay in their body or be present. And so to know that those people exist and to be attuned to any interaction you're having is important, but to act as though that's how everybody is just dangerous, and
Yeah.
we all lose if we assume that everybody's at that level, right?
Yeah. Oh, so much so. I'm kind of an enigma.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the enigma of you, and I was excited for the things that you would have to share around this stuff.
Well, and I hope
So
that clip, especially because I consider myself a woman I'm clear in my needs, I'm clear in my boundaries, I've done a lot of work on myself. So men can feel safe usually in my presence because I know how to take pretty good care of myself. So I want this to be an invitation to men when they meet a woman that's like, oh wow, here's a woman that's worked her sexual trauma. Here's a woman that's worked a lot of her wounding. Here's a woman that's more clear in herself, so that men can hear, I think, at the core of what women do really want once they've really felt safe and they've done a lot of their healing. How I so want to feel a man's fucking desire. I yearn for it. I don't. This word. I need it. I know that whole like I need it.
just bring it. Yeah.
I want to take it in. I want to be consumed. I want to be penetrated. I want to penetrate.
Yeah. And so, what is it that a man does to help that part of you feel safe and to blossom when he's connecting with you? Whether it's in the first interaction, whether it's on a first date, like how does a man evoke that part of you that is hungry and full of desire?
Mm. Well, two things. Men that are vulnerable, really attentive and vulnerable to what's coming up for them and able to own it and even express it, like track themselves.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah. Yeah, so I had a lover come over last night, and he said, I've had 6 clients today, and we hadn't seen each other in like 3 weeks. And of course, like I'm sitting here like really turned on, like really wanting, like ready to open my body. And he's wanting that, but he's like, I'm kind of like a wet noodle. Like I am exhausted and I don't know how I'm going to be when I show up. And I'm feeling really scared that I'm not going to be able to meet you in your desire. I'm not going to be, I don't want to let you down. That's his core fear. I don't want to let you down and make you unhappy. And, he said all this on his way over, so that I was like, wow, it opened my heart because I knew exactly what was going on with him, which helped me feel safe. Yeah. And when we communicated that, he got here, I hugged him. We held each other for 10 minutes and then bam, the energy moved and we were fucking passionate. Mm-hmm. So that level of transparency and ownership and vulnerability is what helps me feel safe.
Yeah.
Ownership of where he's at and his own needs.
Yes. And not hiding it, right? Because there's this tendency with the masculine especially to perform, right? To like hide that away and perform whatever the thing is that we think that we're supposed to be in that moment, when in fact surfacing that vulnerability, not making it about you, like not making you wrong in any way from my experience, right? But just surfacing my own vulnerability and naming that, allowing that to express, actually allows it to move. And we never know what's on the other side of that in our authenticity, right?
Yeah, and this specific play partner, he's married and he has a child, and we're exploring, and we're, again, all these emotions are coming up, these like desires to attach, and that is not available, like that, the level, and we talk about everything. Mm-hmm. I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling, and like, I'm not expecting you now to come and rescue me or to fulfill this, but I really need to share my heart and what's coming up for me.
Yeah. Why would anybody go to the movies when you have these human interiors to just like watch like an amazing fucking show constantly, right? Unless you just want to break from it, which I understand too. So, um, so vulnerability is one of the ways. A man showing up in his vulnerability is one of the ways that helps open you. What's another thing that you can speak to that men can do or embody that that is supportive of you being able to inhabit your desire, your hunger?
A solidity within his own being, like a solidity that he's in his own core and he's in his own body and he's in his own essence. That sourced place, like really sourced, that he has that level of strength and inner authority in himself.
Hmm.
Because that allows me to go, I can be messy. I can be one moment wild. I now like I'm feeling super vulnerable and I'm flipping now into my inner child. I need to be held. Like that level of, and also that willingness, like, and I say that, I said, you know, when I play with someone, I said, you know, I might be desirous one moment and then I might have something come up and then I'm in another state. So his ability to be in a level of strength and fluidity in himself, that he would have a willingness to also be able to be with my currents.
Mm-hmm. So some trust that he can hold your different states. He can stay grounded and anchored as you move from ecstasy to grief to rage and back again. You know?
Yeah, and if he can't, the ability for me to name what I need to slow down and go, you know, I need to hold my, like, if he can't be available, like to take the pause and to do what I need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like if that's too much for him, because I can't expect a man to do that. Like he might go into his own trigger.
Yeah.
Right. So like understanding what's your capability to meet me in a certain space. If it's not there, like I might need to step away. I might need to breathe. I might need to like really tone this energy down.
Yeah.
Because that's women's work. Women also expect a fucking man to hold them no matter what. And that's bullshit. It's not because, meaning the man.
Yeah.
Like,
right. Yeah. We all have our vulnerabilities. Sometimes we're capable of holding outrageous amounts, and sometimes we just fucking lose our shit at the tiniest thing. Right?
In that moment, usually the request is like, can we just hold each other?
Yeah.
And just
breathe
cry
for a moment
or just
together.
like,
Yeah.
no processing. No.
Yeah.
This.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would love to hear. We only have a couple minutes left. You know, if you had the opportunity to whisper in a man's ear, and there are many of these men out there who are feeling lonely, they're feeling a bit hopeless and powerless around um, both having the sort of chutzpah or courage to initiate interactions with women for fear of being a burden or of being rejected, and are sort of feeling hopeless about cultivating the kind of relationships sexually that they want with women, romantically, intimately. What would you like? What would you say to these guys?
Just like feel my heart opening right now, just thinking about that. That we need you, we need your desire, that you're perfect, that if a woman has her own stuff come up, to not let that shut you down, to continue to have the courage to lean in and to share your pleasure and to share your desire with the world, with others. We need you. We fucking need you. And that's the pain from the Me Too thing. It's like, the pain is like from all of that. Men have now shut down. Please. We need you. Fucking need you.
Oh, yeah. Keep coming.
Keep coming.
Don't abandon us because we gave you feedback that hurts, right?
Yes.
Like take the adjustment and come back and try again. Risk
Yeah.
your vulnerability again with us, please. Like we don't want to do this alone.
And to share that, I'm scared to hit on you right now, but I just want to tell you, you're so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Right? Like, and I have my whole thing all the time when I'm, you know, my whole thing is I'm too much, because I'm too much. So I'll say that. I feel scared to share this with you, except my I'm too much wound comes up, and they're like, no, I want to hear you.
Yeah, own the fear too. It's part of the vulnerability, right? Like, wow, I feel really nervous about saying this, but I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't tell you how beautiful I think you are today.
Yeah.
That's it.
The vulnerability creates the trust. It like opens my heart.
Yeah.
It's the softening.
Yeah. Oh, this is so good, Emily. Thank you so much for your open heart and your permission, your huge level of permission for men and their desire, and your safe space for hearts to be open and messy and gushy. Oh, you're so beautiful to me. Grateful for you.
Thank you. I really want men to take that in, that whole whispering, you know, like.
Yeah, I will probably publish that.
Under women, under the fear that women have, they're crying.
Yeah.
They're grieving because they want to feel safe, and they
Help
want
me feel safe. That's the essence of the Me Too movement. This is feedback. It's feedback and a request. Like, please help me feel safe.
Please.
That's it. That's it. Like, I don't feel safe. Please help me feel safe. Yeah. Thank you, beautiful. I got to get to my next session, but I'm so grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you. You're amazing. I've been following you for some time. We'll talk soon. Ciao.
Likewise. Be well.
Bye.